Hello and welcome to the John R. Show. Today's episode is called Adopting a Security First Lifestyle. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure you click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. A lot of wealthy, middle class, and poor people are now adopting a security first lifestyle. Before we tell you what that is, first let's delve into why it is happening. The level of crime out there now has exceeded the ordinary amounts of crime that we've seen in society over the last century by a wide margin. Unfortunately, it continues to grow and evolve into something out of a horror movie. The level of criminality out there is now akin to living in a war zone in a growing number of places across America. Crimes used to take place out of need. Criminals needed money, so they stole it. They needed food or property or belongings, so they would steal that as well. Theft was usually driven by necessity in the past. That's no longer the case. Now a disturbing and growing percentage of crimes are random or recreational, or simply mindless. Many of the times, the criminals don't even take something at the scene of a crime. They simply want to hurt somebody, or they want to destroy property for random or irrational reasons. This hyper-elevated level of criminality is now causing a cultural change in people's lifestyles. What they're adopting now is a security-first lifestyle. That's where people adopt a maximum level of paranoia and security consciousness at all times throughout their days. Whether it's in business, traveling outdoors, or even at home just trying to relax, the presumption is always that one must be hyper vigilant to protect oneself and one's family at all times now. Now, up until this point, the ultra wealthy have usually had security around them, and most of the poor people living in terribly violent and impoverished neighborhoods have often needed to be paranoid, so they too carried weapons for protection. But now there's a shift occurring in our culture. Now the middle class are also becoming extremely vigilant and paranoid. The middle class is self-arming themselves with legally acquired and licensed weapons. They're being extremely vigilant and careful about where they travel to. More and more now, people don't even answer the door when somebody rings the doorbell or there's a stranger out in front of it. Now, when they buy an apartment or wish to buy a house, one of the big questions and the first questions is, how close is the nearest police station and how are the school systems? Are they safe? Do the schools have any internal crime problems as well? What are the crime stats for the zip code the home is in? Are they getting worse now? What's the police response rate for 911 calls in this particular area? Is it low or is it high? Do the police even respond to 911 calls on the same day that they're made, or are they underfunded and understaffed and unable to respond to calls in a timely and safe fashion? It used to be that members of the middle class would go out of their way not to look suspicious or paranoid when they looked at strangers walking in their direction because they'd be afraid of offending them. But that's not the case anymore. Now, if they're walking down the street and they see someone that looks shady, they will cross over to the other street, or they will put their hands in their pockets and hold their concealed weapons in preparation for the possibility of attack. This way, they can be ready if some lunatic attacks, and if they don't, then they could care less now about the possibility of someone being offended by their looking, by their staring at them. Same thing with stores and shopping malls. People who now adopt a security-first lifestyle when going to the stores or going out, well, they will now look at groups of teenagers as potential criminals and troublemakers, and that's simply a natural response to all the crimes that they're engaging in, especially during the crowded holidays. I myself have gone to the malls lately and seen the police arresting groups of teenagers and handcuffing them and escorting them out of the mall. Back in the day, they might arrest a single shoplifter at a time at the malls or stores. Now they'll arrest a dozen at a time, and some of these morons were actually proud of being arrested because they would videotape themselves with their smartphones so they could then post that on their social media for more attention and for more clicks. It's a traveling circus out there. Everybody wants to be a gangster and a movie star at the same time. And what effect does this have? It's causing people to be super paranoid and super cautious, and often armed to the teeth. Whether you can see it or not, a lot of people are now armed to the teeth with concealed weapons, and they do this to protect themselves. If you live in a high crime or low crime area, now people are starting to feel like they're becoming the prey, and they're being hunted by criminal opportunists. So what are they doing? They're arming themselves. Be careful and cautious and ready out there. Many people now feel that being paranoid is now far more important than being polite or politically correct. They don't care about offending anyone at all. All they care about is being safe and making sure to protect themselves and their families so that some lunatic cannot hurt them. Style is not as important as it used to be. In fact, you could say now that in a lot of places, style is irrelevant because dressing down and attracting less attention is far more important. Where you eat isn't as important. Where you shop and hang out with your friends isn't as important. The thing that matters most to people is their safety and the safety of their families. Good luck. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great interviews coming up, celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.